to Northwest Connection. My name's Trell.
And I'm Hanny.
From the heart of Wigan, we're sitting down with Narcissists, a band that's been turning heads and breaking boundaries with a unique blend of dark atmospheric rock. The new album, Dark Assembly, has just dropped and it's already making waves. Welcome. Thanks for coming down.
Thank you for having me on.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Dominic, and I'm the singer. And I write all the tunes as well for now. I think, like, in the beginning, it was just sort of me in my bedroom, but, like, we've had a bit of an expansion recently. I've managed to sort of work with a lot of musicians who sort of share the same goal, really. And the goal is that just we want original new content and we're sick of the same repackaged crap. So we were just doing something a little bit different. And I feel like bands like Sleep and also that new Irish rap group Kneecap as well, they're setting a bit of a precedent at the moment for like lashing against what's been established for years. The things that we like, we will continue, but the systems that exploit the artists, we're not having them anymore.
We've talked about this before. It was with Seb, was saying like there's like this punk thing's coming back. This punk sort of
the attitude
is coming back. People are a bit bored.
Britpop Gallagher confidence, you know.
I'm afraid that's all we're going to get this year, though, isn't it? With the Gallagher's back together.
I don't even think that. I think with all the publicity Kneecap have had in the past couple of weeks since Coachella, you know, it's all been about them. It's definitely their year this year.
Definitely, I think so. There's nothing that they can do to tear them down. Every single piece of reverse promotion, it only benefits the band, because when you put a microscope under this, it's basically just a bunch of lads from a squat in Ireland versus the big establishment. Who are the people going to side with? Some industry gatekeeping dude who's just like, no, I don't like that, it's not safe enough. Or the new lads on the block who are like, yeah, don't like British people, yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So do you have a solid band behind you, or do you just, like, we've had artists that come on, like Quaintus Show on Earth, and he picks different artists every week to work with, you know, different local musicians.
Yeah. Is
that how you work, or do you have
we just sort of tailor? I sort of run the project. It's all like owned by me, but it's kind of bigger than me at the moment, because I just kind of take whatever opportunities are given our way, and then I think, how am I going to adapt, the catalogue that we've already got, like of music, how am I going to adapt that? And I really do take into account the audience who are going to be there. So, you know, if it's like a metal festival, then we are going to need, you know what I mean, the full driving force of drumming and live instrumentation. However, you know, I'm seeing a lot of a rise, and there's nothing wrong with this at all. I think this is great, but there's a lot of people as well who are embracing sort of like the more electronic side of things. But because we don't stick to traditional sort of like, oh, we are X, Y, and Z band, we don't even identify as a band. We're just a cult now. We just do what we want. We can just change genres in a second, and if someone wants to offer me a show, you know, at like a dance festival, we can adapt to that as well. Like, it's just, and obviously the project it hungers for these musicians to help alongside, you know, when I'm putting these shows on and stuff like that. And to answer your question, yes, I do end up working with quite a lot of local musicians, and I tend to go for the people who kind of need an opportunity. Do you know, the kind of people who BBC will tell them no and stuff like that, and it breaks my heart to see. So to be able to positively impact my community like that, it's something that means a lot to me, you know.
And how did you get into music?
It's going to be a really boring backstory, this, I'm not going to lie. But I was, me, my dad, my brother, and my mother, we were all on a little road trip we used to go on caravan holidays quite a lot, like the Caravan Club in like Conway. Go and see Conway Castle. It was a fun little weekend, I won't lie. We always used to have some good times. But like long drives, you know, towing the caravan on the motorway, and we just used to bang. My dad, he used to drive, and he used to have a rule where it's like, if I'm doing the long drive, then you're listening to my music. And my father would put on Long Pigs, you know, Oasis, Early Days, you know, just these maddest like bands that I would never hear, because, you know, when I was growing up, it was all the Spice Girls, and just like, it had sort of moved towards the synthesizer side of things and the process side of things. Now, for a while, I really didn't like it. But I feel like I am sort of like the perfect mixture of my mum and my dad, because my mum is more sort of electronic. She's more not hardcore. She's not a raver. She just likes, you know, like 80s and all the good stuff from back in the day. And my dad, he likes a lot of the old Britpop stuff, all the post-punk and all that. But then also he embraces the new stuff as well. Like sometimes I'll write a trap beat and I'll be like, yeah, I'm going to put this on my indie album, and he'll go, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I'll go, and then he'll sit there and he'll listen to it and he'll hear me out, and I'm like, well, put a guitar solo on it and it'll be right. And just having that freedom to just have people involved in my life who just sort of, they don't necessarily understand my vision all the time, even the people who work with me, but they just hear me out and they think, right, you know, I trust that you're going to come out the other side of this with a good piece of content. And I love that, because more often than not, bands are obsessed with their image, and they're obsessed with, oh, we can't do this because how will we be perceived? Do you know? But I so do not care about that. The art is bigger than that. Do you know?
When did you first start writing music?
I first started in a little band called Coral River, and that was Josh Bennett, myself, James Snow, and Jack Clayworth. And we were dead young. We were like, you know, fresh out of college, man. And we wrote a couple of tunes, and a couple of those tunes have made it onto Narcissists albums as like repackaged, you know what I mean, for our project. Yeah. But that's how it got going, to be honest. We used to go up and do our songs, and we were gaining a little bit of weight, a little bit of traction. But then more often than what happens is in these young bands is you end up falling out over egos and over do you know what I mean? Over what we're doing in that. But now that we've all sort of matured, it's better.
Yeah, when you're younger, egos sometimes get in the way, don't they?
Of course it is. You hear about these bands
as well. I think, you know, as you get older, people's tastes change and people
definitely
develop in different ways.
Maturing and stuff.
Yeah, it changes direction.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. You become a bit more sort of not focused on one particular music style.
I want it all. I want to start making little short movies as well. What a self-soundtracked. I had a really I've got you know what, I'm going to share it with you guys. I've got a top secret idea, and it's I'm going to put an event on in Wigan, and it's going to be a masquerade. Everyone's got have to wear masks. If you go outside and have a cig or whatever, you can take your mask off then. But when you're in the building, you got to wear masks. And obviously the doorman, you'll have to show the doorman your face as you walk in or whatever, or sign a ledger so he's keeping track of who's coming and going. But then I just put local bands on all night, local artists on all night, and then it's like a little bit of a fun social experiment. And yeah, it'd be really great, I think. It'd be a bit unique. I don't think Wigan's ever had a masquerade, so that's like, at the moment, I've got bigger plans than just, have an album this year and then wait till next year for the next album, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want it all.
Was there a specific band that got you into music then?
Definitely just that Gallagher brother attitude, because they just come from a council estate in Manchester. Do you know, they've not really had a very big education, like, you know, they've not really had the opportunities. But like,
Nepo babies.
Yeah.
This is it. And when you see bands like that, you think, well, I can do this. And then anyway, I give it a go, and like I said, we all ended up like sort of falling out with each other a little bit, and that's okay. But like, you take a few years off, you know, you work a job for a bit, you live a normal life again, but then you come back to it. I saw Fontaines DC 2024, before the release of Romance. They did so anyone who bought it on vinyl, they did like special tickets to this warehouse in the middle of Liverpool. And we watched Romance live, and they went out on stage. Honestly, no disrespect, they look like just a bunch of scrubbers wearing Adidas, and I just thought, that is so amazing. Like, it doesn't look like an industry packaged band. You know what I'm saying? It's been cleverly marketed. And then I just took it a step further and thought, like, instead of having a band that's, you know, like hero of the people and contractually bound still from saying what they want. I mean, Fontaines do what they want, don't they? Because they've been backing Kneecap and stuff like that. But yeah, a lot of bands, they get sort of stuck in this. They can't truly be authentic because they're contractually bound. You know,
I think that is the thing with record labels at the moment, though. They play it sort of safe, don't they, rather than...
Exactly.
There's an element of that, but I think also as well, you know, if record labels are going to, the big record labels, are going to invest money, then they want something back for it. You know, they want to make sure that they get something for their investment.
Definitely,
So they do want to say
it's run like a bank. You know what I mean?
That's exactly it.
That's what it's about shareholders, unfortunately.
Thinking too much and feeling too little.
That's why we need these like little DIY labels. They're so passionate about it.
I love stuff like that. If anybody says I'm putting on my own festival, I'm like, oh, do tell me more. You know, it is brilliant. Like, honestly.
Are there any bands on the scene at the moment that you see that are doing like different things to the norm, or
what on a local scale, or just
on a local scale?
On a local scale, let me think about that. Origami Tsunami, they released like 7-minute songs. This is before like the recent rise of sleep. They've been doing it for years, since like 2020. I went to college with one of the lads from that band and I'm not really too close with him, and like I don't really chat to him too much, but I see what they're doing and they released like 7-8 minute tunes, and they're just full of like guitar solos, interesting instrumentation, and like not just like in your face repeated poetry. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's proper different.
Sounds like our sort of thing.
Just when you say sleep as well, you're not talking about the American stoner band, are you? Sleep?
No, I'm talking about Sleep Talking.
Okay,
yeah.
Just to clear that up for me, because I instantly go straight to.
I am Vessel from Timu.
I instantly go to Sleep, the stoner metal band who started in the 90s.
Well, we like those as well.
Yeah.
Can you tell us how like a Narcissist track starts then, where the concepts usually start from? Is it
usually
is
a
it
feeling?
lyrics or
Usually a feeling. I'll say that it's a cathartic exercise for the members of the cult to just come together and just bleed what they're feeling onto a page, and then we look at how that can transcribe onto a DAW, you know, or like in the recording room that we got, like. But yeah, that's usually how it starts. A feeling. We don't try and engineer anything. We just, like, if we're feeling a certain way. I think you guys did a review of Dark Assembly, actually, and you summed it up really, really perfectly. I can't believe how much you got it, like the beauty in breakdown, and do you know what I mean, about how you put about how it's more of a seance. That was really, I thought you really hit the nail on the head with that, guys. Like,
well, I think sometimes with music you want a bit more than, you know, just if you're a musician, you're always looking for that different thing, aren't you? That, you know, that standout sort of track. That's a different sound, and you're always looking for new music. And I know, like, you listen to so much music, don't you?
I do. I mean, but at the same time, I don't always look for a new sound. I just want something that catches me, if you know what I mean. And you'll listen to something and you go, oh, hang on, that, and as soon as it grips you,
I think that
reels me back.
That's what works for me as well. If I think, oh, well, it's something different than I would write, it makes me like prick up and think, oh, it's a bit different.
Grian Chatton from Fontaines DC as well, he often said about how his songwriting process starts with how he visualises the weather in which is taking place in the track, which I thought was such an interesting process. Now, it's not something that I've been doing, but it is. I do like to have a look at how the frontmen or frontwomen of different bands, they go about that question that you just asked me, how does the track start? But for Grian, it's like he imagines what the weather's like in the song. So for Favourite, he said that it's like absolutely chucking it down with rain, but it's a sunny sky, really bright. Reminds you of Wigan, actually. Yeah.
Do you usually have like lyrics written down in books, or?
No, they always come after.
Right.
In fact, at the moment, I'm trying to mess with myself a little bit just by trying to make the lyrics first and then having everything else come afterwards. But usually, I've always had it ingrained in me that the vocalist's job is to be the voice of the musical movement. Do you know? I don't necessarily think. I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing things the other way, but for me personally, that feels right. But like, I'm trying to expand and do things the other way as well and see where that leads. You know.
Could you tell us the concept behind your latest album then? Was there a specific number of tracks you wanted to put down, or before you released it, or?
I just knew that the concept of the album was just going to be a Dark Assembly in some capacity. I recently rewatched Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and that's the one that everyone goes, oh, it's so good, And you know what? I don't want to get a lot of hate for this, but it isn't that good. It's the ceremony itself, in which, I think people sort of, the introduction was very weak. The mid part where the ceremony is taking place is gripping, and you go cold. Do you know what I mean? It's like in Jurassic Park when the T-Rex is on screen, dry throat and that,
I think we need to take a break here now to apologise to the Lucas fans out there.
Yes. The ceremony is gripping, and I think that's what's stuck in people's memory the best, because even the minecart scenes, it's just you put film on, you sit back and relax, and 1 minute it's quiet, and then it's blasting you in the ears. So there's not a lot of good mixing in old films, is there? But the ceremony was very memorable, and that just got me fucking thinking about how shite. It's not shite. I shouldn't say that. I'm going to get killed. I'm going to get crucified.
That's going to be the reel, by the way.
Yeah. Slagging off Temple of Doom. It was my favourite, man. I'm going to get killed for this. But yeah, it wasn't that gripping. It was full of cultural problems as well. It was banned from being shown in Nepal. And I'm pretty sure that some people wanted to kill George Lucas after that. You know what I mean? But yeah, the ceremony was so good. I think Mola Ram was brilliant, and I saw what some of the mass bands are doing at the moment, and I just thought, if they can do it, why not? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just want to go for the full sort of the cult that's ever changing. You know what I mean? I'll do anything to get your attention.
So did you self-record that album, or?
Yeah, all of it, just at my house. It was. Honestly, it didn't take very long, and I'm planning on doing another one as well this year, because I'm just really, I just think the formula is right. I'm not hindered by anything, and I think, why not? I'll do another album this year,
So you're going to self-record that as well, or are you going to bring in some of the other band members?
I'm definitely bringing in the other band members, and that's why, because Dark Assembly, to be honest with you, is the last collection of songs that I wrote on my own, and moving into our next album, you're going to see a more collaborative effort from Narcissists. Do
you think your style and sound has evolved and developed with the influence of these other band members now as well?
Definitely, yeah, because they're always, it's just like having someone else to riff off. You just find that sometimes ideas, they go a bit further when somebody else is going, oh, that's cracking that, and you could do this, and then you go,
yeah,
my guy,
the energy you get the energy bounces off each band member.
I surround myself with energy radiators for that exact reason. I don't want to surround myself with people going, yeah, it's crap, that it'll never work. I want people who are like, yeah, bro, give it a go. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Though sometimes there's a bit of conflict, isn't there? But
yeah, of course there is.
But that's what makes good songs, I suppose.
Well, I need to write my last will and testament after slagging off Temple of Doom anyway. I'd like to apologise for that.
Have to change your name.
And
just for the record as well, we don't hate Temple of Doom. I think we need to get that.
Yeah.
I love Temple of Doom.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with these guys.
I was
just
terrified
me.
of that Molaram scene when I was little. Yeah.
Welcome.
I was more of a Raiders guy.
Raiders is the one. Come on.
In fact, I like them all except the last one.
I still haven't watched it.
Oh yeah, don't bother. Yeah,
in fact, I haven't watched the last two.
Yeah, there was one with Shia LaBeouf.
I've not watched that one.
I thought it was good.
I can't bring
There was one with Shia LaBeouf, and there was one with
the woman out of Fleabag.
Oh yeah, and she was just disrespecting his legacy at every turn.
I think I put the first 10 minutes on the turn off.
I hate it when they revive an old classic just to disrespect the old guy,
Yeah. So, with that, with your Dark Assembly album, were you still tweaking it towards the end, or was it? Did you have it all written before you recorded it?
It was all composed. I just needed to whip up just sort of transcribe the vision onto onto the actual, into the audio. But yeah, it was all sort of penned, and I just sort of floated it past the other band members, and they said, I said, would you add anything here? And there's a couple of bits where other members have contributed here and there, like a solo or something like that. But yeah, pretty much it was all just recorded, ready to go. I just dropped it because I was bored, to be honest, and I might drop another album because I'm bored.
It's quite an unusual sound.
It is.
It's very unique. do you draw information from other artists for that, or?
I've got a thing, where it's a bit of a weird one, and it's relative to me, but if I was walking down the street and I saw somebody dressed exactly the same as me, I would hate that, and it'd stress me out so much. I'm just such an attention-seeking little pick-me boy, you know what I'm saying? I hate it. Like, I need to be different.
And so you didn't, like, want to sound like any other band at all?
Nah, I wanted to do my own thing, and if people said it were crap, that's alright, but at least it was like...
You're happy with it?
Exactly. That's it.
The only trouble is if you're bringing band members into that, you could stir up a bit of...
Oh, don't sound on it, mate.
So your artwork as well, that's quite different. Is that all you as well?
Yeah, well, I'm really into, and I'm going to give this one away to anyone who's watching this who's a creative. Download Pixar on your phone right now. It's a free app. Do not pay for the premium version. Just download it and just use it to blast out images. It's so powerful. It's like having a...
Libby's nodding as well.
Do you know what I mean? It's like having a fucking Photoshop on crack on your phone, man. Get Pixar and start blasting out images. People have been like, I'll pay you £100 if you promote my band on that other page that I run. And I'm like, bro, I'll literally do it you for free. I could do it like while I'm on bog. Like, it'd take me 2 seconds. Like, I'd feel bad.
So you've done a few live shows. What's been your favourite so far?
The first one ever that we did. And honestly, I just wish I had the band for that event as well. But it was just me, and I did an acoustic set on the roof of an art gallery in Manchester in 2022. Heads magazine organised it, and it was like they were doing an art night where they encouraged sort of like people in the art society to come, and all paints and canvases were provided in this glass dome on the top of this on the top of the ABC building.
No way.
And it was proper wicked, and I'd love to go back there with a full band and that one day. It'd be so good. I had like hot dog van on the roof. It was
sounds a bit different.
Is the hot dog van still up there? That's what we need to know, isn't it, really, more than anything?
Dark assembly at the hot dog van.
So what dream venue you'd love to play?
Dream venue? I've always wanted to do a night and day cafe, but they keep saying no because we're not safe enough.
Oh, right.
Crying.
I believe it's really hard to get on that night and day.
It was solid. We actually had a gig booked in 2019, and then pandemic hit, and it was like, I know they're not going to give me another show now because we didn't do it during the pandemic.
I think,
but I would love to play there. It's great.
Pandemic is mentioned every episode.
Yeah, I think it does,
honestly, fucked us all over, bad man. Not going to cry about it, but yeah.
Do you have any pre-show rituals?
Pre-show rituals? Oh. Yeah, usually, right, what I do is, do you remember them nudie pens from back in the day where you pull out the thing and there's like, you rotate it and there's a... Yeah, I have a look at one of them. I've got one of me, and I turn it upside down and I go, you can do it, Dominic. Make it work. That's what I do every time, yeah.
And it works.
Oh, it kills it. I didn't do it at Skem and that. I didn't do it at Skem. It was too early in the morning. You can't be doing that first thing in the morning.
Have you had any gig disasters?
Yeah, definitely. There was we did a Harry Styles cover and that, and it just, I don't know what was going on with it. It was like, it was a piece of, it were like, you get a band recording and each single channel has a different instrument in it. It was like one of them, but out of sync. That's what it were like.
Didn't work.
No. I like Harry though. He's a good lad. He's embraced the darker side of, being a pop star as well. Like, there's a lot of like emotional depth behind his lyrics, even though everyone just sort of looks at him and thinks, oh, he's just like some number one kid out of One Direction. But there's some real darkness in that album, Harry's House, and a lot of electronic aspects, a lot of rock aspects, and I just think it's a nice little combination. I'm surprised that album got released, to be honest, because it doesn't sound very safe. But
Can't say I'm a fan.
I was going to say it's not going on
No.
listening.
no, I do like it though. There's nothing wrong with a bit of pop, as long as it's done with like emotional depth behind it and something a bit new. I quite like a bit of some of Robbie Williams' catalogue when he was hanging about with Oasis. Like that 2000 Millennium album, that were good.
We were talking about, I think, was it the other week on the podcast, how pop music, the production is just so good.
Yeah.
Now on pop music, it's just like
It
the
has to be
standout
pristine.
thing is the production.
It has to be.
I was on that one. I know we've
Well, it might have been
touched
Seb.
We've touched on pop music.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. production is so good at
Yeah.
the moment on it.
But I think production in general has just got so much better.
Yeah.
compared
It
to
has,
back in the
yeah.
'Cause,
90s
and
when you'd
everyone's
listen
trying to outdo
yeah.
each other now with the
You know,
production.
you can do a demo somewhere and it'll sound a million times better than what some people did in the studio back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, you record that on your phone.
Yeah.
That's an important one to consider as well, because everyone's trying to outdo themselves in terms of crispness. But sometimes, you know, like if you're not, you know, part of the winning hand that's going to win that crispness competition, then I reckon that when you do an album, you just pick an era. So like when the first album that I did in 2022, it was like all 80s based. So like in the 80s style of stuff, you know, like the crispness wasn't there, and they used to put intentional glitches in the music to make it sound more human. It's just like little industry things like that, like 90s and 2000s, you know, like Strokes early 2000s and stuff like that. But that wasn't crisp at all. You can hardly hear Julian Casablancas singing, but it's just like artist choice, innit? I think he was shy, or maybe it was just like how he liked the sound of his own voice. But
Yeah, and I think we did get to the point where everything's so polished, or
too polished.
yeah,
Too
they'll
polished.
sing one chorus and then just loop it.
There's
That
no
was a perfect
grit.
take. We'll just loop it, and there's no sort of.
And then they
much
go out
feel
and
to
lip
it.
sync it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So we've got some fun questions for you now. Have you got any songs that are a guilty pleasure?
Oh, I think to be honest, I think we touched on that in some capacity with the last little section of the show, you know. It's just like I don't really like pop music, but there are some guilty pleasure songs that just sort of get me, because I think like there's a hidden darkness, do you know, like do you know Plan B, She Said I love you boy, love you so.
Oh yeah.
That song is about someone being falsely accused of heinous sexual crimes.
And it's a pop song. I didn't know that.
But they snuck it in there. The Police, Every Breath You
Yeah,
Take,
that's a stalker
played at
song.
played at weddings. Everybody thinks it's the most romantic song ever. It's about a stalker. So I love pop music. Pumped Up Kicks, Foster the People. It's about a school shooter. I love it when they sneak hidden depth into pop songs,
Yeah.
because it's like they've got one over on.
Everyone's singing
you know what
along,
I mean?
but
Like,
it's
yeah.
really dark meaning behind it.
So that would be my guilty pleasure songs. Any kind of hidden darkness.
Bananarama.
I love Bananarama.
Banger. That is a true banger.
It's great.
If you could only listen to one album for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh God. It'd have to be something with just like lots of variation. You know, like lots of genres all mashed into one. I'd probably take a soundtrack with me, to be honest with you. I might take the soundtrack to True Detective Season 1, or maybe the soundtrack, something a bit more fantasy, maybe the Lord of the Rings soundtrack or something, like, you know, orchestral.
Yeah, it's got a bit of everything to it.
Yeah, because you'd get
Crow.
sick of the same lyrics, wouldn't you?
The Crow.
The
What a
first
soundtrack.
Crow,
Yeah, the original, yeah, what a
Not that new
soundtrack.
shit.
No, I'm not watched that.
I'm not watching that.
You would get bored of the same sort of like
Yeah,
words
I
and
don't know, I
lyrics.
haven't in 30 years.
It's brilliant, that Crow soundtrack. Do you listen to any sort of like classical music at all? Or
Yeah, lots of that.
fan?
I like it. I've got a playlist, and it's full of like piano songs what people have done, and they've got like 2,000 views or whatever, and they were like released 19 years ago, and it's like I've got a playlist as well. It's full of game soundtracks where the game companies have lost the license to the song, and obviously the composer has sold the license to the game company, so no one owns the music, and it's sad. It's locked away in a vault. You try and buy the soundtrack online, they will take your money, but there'll be no product. It's ridiculous. I've tried to buy it twice, but yeah, someone uploaded it to YouTube like about 10 years ago, and I found it. It's got like 2,000 views. I love stuff like that, me. It's just like forbidden audio.
Have you got a current song that's on repeat?
In my head?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do actually. It's that. It's from the new Sleep Token album, Even in Arcadia, and it's just it's heavily memed. This song. It's where he's going, "I wanna be a provider, like a spider." It's just mad. But when you hear it, you're a bit like, oh God, he's taking this vocal effect too far. Do you know, he's taking this bravado too far. But then you go away, and because it's a bit mad, it sticks in your head. Do you know what I mean? And then you end up fucking liking it.
If you're going to play at like a big venue like Red Rocks or Glastonbury, what would your walk-on song be?
Walk on Stung.
Yeah, to get you pumped up.
It'd have to be something like Fucking in the Bushes by Oasis. Do you know what I'm saying? It'd have to be something with that energy.
Oasis, though.
It's a good one, though.
It's from the Snatch soundtrack, though, innit? Like,
what would you go with?
Me?
Yeah.
Whip It by Devo.
Oh,
yes, lad.
that is a tune.
And you, I want to hear yours.
I'd have to Rain in Blood, Slayer.
That's a good. That's a banger. That
Lib.
Just have to think.
Yeah. What?
I say this every time, I just don't know. We did have a really great walk-on song once, and it was the Thomas the Tank Engine mashup.
Nice.
Can I
remember it was.
Can I change my answer?
Yeah, go on.
I want to go with the song Maniac, which is from Footloose, but the Carpenter Brute version.
I'm not familiar with that version.
It just hits harder. It definitely hits harder.
It's called Thomas the Dank Engine.
Thomas the Dank Engine. I like
That's
that.
a wicked name. The Dank Engine.
I hope there was hit
It's
markers
really
on the cover
cool
art.
as well, isn't it? Yeah.
I've changed my answer. I'm going after Thomas the Dank Engine now.
Have you guys seen that video of Kanye West playing one note on a piano and everyone cheers? From about 10 years ago, before he went a bit weird.
Before he went a bit weird.
His marketing strategy is actually genius. Just winds everybody up for 2 weeks and then puts a status on saying, right, I'm done winding everybody up now. I'm actually a good guy. I'm a changed man.
What 3 songs you always go back to?
Always go back to... Oh. Give me a minute, please. Maybe Sonnet by The Verve. It just sort of hits like... It hits like sunset on a Hawaiian beach. I don't know. It's just nice. And then... Maybe U2. Ultraviolet. That's it reminds me of my dad. And also I went to watch the Joshua Tree reunion tour with my dad, and they did that one, and they put like a screenshot, like a slideshow of like the most impactful women in history on set, and I just it brought a tear to my eye, and I'm normally not soft about stuff like that, but it was really, really nice. You know. And then the third song would probably have to be something dead hard and dead disgusting. Ram Ranch by Grant MacDonald. Definitely Ram Ranch.
No.
Me neither.
Don't Google it, man. You're not gonna like it. Ram Ranch by Grant MacDonald.
What songs do you always go back to? You listen to so much music, don't you? It's like
It's a tough one. And if I was to take the same sort of stance, we're going to have something filthy. It'd either be Pig Destroyer or Napalm Death. Like Army of Cops by Pig Destroyer. It's a good one. It's going to be Deftones in there.
oh yeah, yeah.
And I'm thinking it'd be Have You Seen the Butcher? Diamond
What a
Eyes.
riff.
And then Belinda Carlisle.
Tune.
So, there we go.
Girls just want to have fun.
That's a tune.
Just to mix it up.
Well, we'll leave it there. Thanks for coming down, Dom.
Thank you, boys
Cheers,
and
thank you.
girls.
Check out Dark Assembly on Spotify.
Thank you very much. Check out the Northwest Connection podcast. They're doing lots for new bands and people who are just not industry plants. Do you know what I mean?
Cheers, Dom.
Nice one.